If it is or if it ain't, it's going to come out. Good morning, everybody. It's your girl, Miracle Sims, and you're listening to God, Sex, and Love, your daily dose of inspiration, the juice. It is September the 14th, 2023, and today the topic is the honor hierarchy. Happy Thursday, everyone. Happy Thursday. I hope that you all had a wonderful Wednesday. Mine was just fine. Yeah, man, my Wednesday was good overall. Y'all know that I went over to the church because it was all staff day. It was time for an all staff meeting at the church and whatnot. And it was nice as always. The pastor ended up talking to us about I guess it went away from my mind in this moment because my mind has been so engulfed in what the Lord has given me. If I could try to remember the exact word, then I'll share it later, I guess. Maybe it's not meant for me to say right now, but it was good to reflect on. I'll say that his topic that he talked about yesterday. Yeah, it's just innovation. He was talking about how all of us were innovators and things of that nature. And, it was good. I guess maybe, I don't know what I missed on Sunday by staying in all three services and whatnot. Because a lot of times the messages and whatnot hit home of things that I need to hear. So, again, I don't know if I missed something on Sunday. Because, again, I've been kind of in a place of, like, a little bit of confusion here and there. And whatnot, and just trying to find balance with it all. I told you guys the other day I was really struggling with, the topic that the Lord had put on my heart and mind and whatnot. And even though I believe I try my best to address the things, I know I didn't address things head on or at face value, but hopefully anybody that needs to hear the things that I've been saying will hear and receive what I'm saying, even without me saying everything specifically. But I don't know if all of this plays a part in today's conversation. It might. Now that I'm sitting here talking about it, I didn't I intend to go that deep about talking about all of this, but whatever the Lord wants to do with me, for me, and through me, I am here to do so. I hope that you guys are all being encouraged and inspired by, I guess, my transparency as well as just everything, right? And so, I guess I say all that to say that yesterday was nice overall. I was able to sow a few more seeds and things of that nature. Y'all know my anniversary is around the corner, so that's something I'm looking forward to. Right after that, it's going to be NJ's birthday and whatnot, so I'm trying to get some plans and things together with that. Had an interesting conversation with my husband last night, so it was kind of like, what do we want to do here? But anywho, but yeah, so, that's pretty much, I guess, the highlights of yesterday. There's nothing to share, I guess, of significance about that. But I think there's plenty to share in regards to this conversation of the honor hierarchy. I think there's a lot of, we know that there's a lot of issues in life. And I think a lot of these things may stem from the things that we hold dear, right? The things that we place honor on in our lives. And I know I talked about in the past about if y'all go back and scroll, right, you'll see an episode where there was the image is me holding this umbrella, and it talks about, and in the episode I know I talked about God being the head of the man, and the husband in particular, the husband being the head of the wife being over the children, and how that order should go. I think it was called Out of Order or whatever. So I know I've already kind of talked about this, but the Lord's brought this to my heart and mind today. Because, I mean, I know that we, regardless, I mean, even if you hear something one time, I mean, you can get something different another time, one. And then two, there is an issue when it comes to order, right? And then not only just that, but then I guess I'm going deeper with this concept of the honor hierarchy, or again, what we hold dear or what we put in places of honor over the other things. And so it's like, of course there's issues, right? Of course there's problems when it comes to this, when it comes to life. And then we as humans were like confused. We're like, well, why are there these problems with marriage and relationship and this and that? And it's like, well, it all stems from being out of order, yes, but it may also stem from the things that we put in honor. My overall, if you don't listen to nothing else that I say, the overall juice that I received this morning is nothing should go above God. I mean, there's plenty of verses that reiterate that, plenty of things that, accounts in the Bible and whatnot that reiterates that. I was just sharing with the gentleman the other day on his platform. He asked me, who I guess is influential outside of Jesus to me in the Bible. And yeah, I usually would say Elijah, and I told him that. But I will say that it's something about those three Hebrew boys, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, standing up and saying that, hey, at the end of the day, we are facing the fiery furnace. We're facing the king of our day. But at the end of the day, we're going to stand for God. Because we know that at the end of the day, he can save us. And even if he don't save us, we still going to stand for God, because it's right, So if you don't listen to nothing else I say today, it should be Christ over everything. That should be the top place of honor in our life. There's the verses that say, we serve God rather than men and things of that nature. And people may take offense to that, right? Because people want to hold certain places in life and whatever the case may be. But at some point, regardless of that, God should always be first. His will, his way. And I feel like, there's a lot of things that was pointing me into this direction this morning to talk about the honor hierarchy. So before I get into that, let me just share these definitions. Honor says high respect, great esteem, okay? And then hierarchy says a system or organization in in which people or groups are ranked one above the other according to the status or authority. So the rankings of high respect and great esteem. We've already established who should be top in everybody's life. It should be God. It should be Christ. Now we know that that's not happening, but that's what it should be according to the Bible, and everything like that. What got me on this morning, y'all may be wondering. Well, the Lord woke me up at 2:49. That's what got me on this, because when I looked up the Bible verses centered around 2:49, I came across Luke 2:49, and this is what it says. It says, and he said unto them, how is it that ye sought me? Wist ye not that I must be about my Father's business? Y'all should be familiar with this. Obviously, this is what Jesus the Christ said as a child, said in his youth, and things of that nature. And obviously that speaks volumes all by itself. Again, obviously the wisdom of this child, obviously the being about his Father's business, things of that nature. But as I was reflecting on that this morning, what was standing out to me was the verses afterwards. Now, I did not write those down. You guys can go look at them yourself. They're in the Go Deeper section. It's Luke 2:49 through 52. You can read the whole thing yourself. But if I paraphrase it real quick, basically, right after he asked that question, he humbled himself, right, to Mary and I would say even Joseph, or whatever the case may be, and things of that nature. And then, we don't hear nothing about him again until he's well into adulthood, and whatnot. So obviously he surrendered and submitted, right, to their authority as his parents. So even though like I know Southern parents, like again, I've been raised here in the South and here in Georgia, and I mean I've never not to my knowledge I haven't told my mom, you know what I mean, you know, I got to be about my father's business. I haven't said that straight up, or whatever the case may be. Um, and he's right. Obviously, God in the flesh. I mean, you know, he obviously had authority over Mary, X, Y, and Z, and that's the difference between us and our parents, right? Because we don't have that authority that God, that Jesus had. But anywho, but even with that authority, he still submitted. And I think that's what was coming into my heart and mind to go deeper about today. And so I did. I ended up going to gotquestions.org. Y'all know that's like one of my main places to go these days. And there's several different articles that, you know, that we all can peruse and let marinate on our hearts, souls, and minds. But one of the first ones that I felt led to share with you all today is the one that says, what should the order of priorities, what should be the order of priorities in our family? We talk about this all the time on GSL, but you know, it seems like, again, a lot of the issues of life it goes back to the home, as they say. And so if we don't understand, if again, there's broken families, broken homes, you know, all these different type of things happening to where, again, if things are out of order or if things are broken or whatever the case may be, no wonder there's issues, right? No wonder there are problems in our communities and nations and all this different type of stuff, because there's an issue happening in the home. You guys can go deeper and read the entire article yourself, but just to list it out here again, what the order should be. This is what I'm receiving that the order should be. And this, I mean, according to the Bible, as well as, you know, the article that I read and things of that nature. Again, number one should be God. We already established that in the beginning. You know, being about our Father's business, things of that nature. That should be first. The second should be our spouse. If you are married, your spouse should be the second thing under God. Now, what does that mean? We can go deeper about all that and whatnot, but I'm just reading the order at the moment, right? After that should be the children, okay? We should be not only, I guess, taking care of them, but, you know, teaching them in the way of God and things of that nature. Then number 4 should be parents. You know, obviously honoring our father and mother and things of that nature. He exercised that. Christ exercised that here on earth. And that's one of the 10 commandments and the only one that comes with the promise and things of that nature. And so obviously parents are held in high regard. But in the order of things, right, that's a whole nother conversation. But just saying, parents is still on the list. And it's after the children when we talk about outside of the home. 5 is the extended family. So that's 5th on this list of order. You know, I guess that would be, again, your siblings, your, you know, aunts, uncles, cousins, all that, you know. 6, after that should be fellow believers. This, again, is according to this list. Y'all can go and confirm all these things on your own and make sure that this, I'm reading this correctly, but that's what I'm receiving. At number 6 should, you know, we should be, I guess, and when you're talking about the honor, right, and the honor hierarchy, next after your family should be your fellow believers, because that's your extended family beyond your quote unquote blood family. And then after that is the world and everyone else. Now, that one thing that I was reflecting on before I went live is that you don't even see yourself on this list at all. Ain't that interesting? Now, I don't know. I'm not saying that, you know, God is, or you know, that God don't want us taking care of ourselves and things like that. But I don't know. That was just something that crossed my mind before as I was getting ready to do this. I was like, we're not even on the list. Well, one, it seems like someone should always be caring for us because we should always be caring for one another and things of that nature. But I mean, there's something to be said about self-care and all that different type of stuff. You guys know that I have a whole movement myself about, you know, making sure, you know, you taking time to unwind and things like that. And I guess, again, I saw the importance of doing things like that once I became a mom and making sure that I don't, you know, burn out and things of that nature. But we're not on the list in regards to honoring. But the interesting thing is we know that a lot of us honor ourselves above the Lord. And so we are already out of order. A lot of us honor ourselves above the rest of the things. So, I mean, yeah, there's something to be said about making sure you're good and self-care and don't burn out and don't, you know what I mean? We can't pour from empty vessels and all that. But, I don't know, that I just thought that was very interesting to point out that we're not even on the list. And then two, what was the other thing that was standing out to me about looking at this list? Uh, I believe that, I mean, a lot of times this is all topsy-turvy. You know what I mean? I definitely see a lot of instances or examples where we put everyone else above the order that God created, We put everything and everyone else above God. And again, anything above God is already out of order, okay? And then you put other people in the world or whatever the case may be over your spouses. You know what I mean? Then you do that over your children and over your family and over all the things. It's like we go backwards, or we look at the list backwards sometimes. We put the world and everyone else, I guess ideas, whatever the case may be. We have a topsy-turvy world, man. And again, this is just, it's all about renewal of mind and things of that nature. Taking on the mind of Christ and things like that. And, actually, this is reminding me of a video that I shared on our Facebook last night. It was talking about, I think it was Brother Frank Turek. He was answering the question, like, do we, lose our personalities by taking on the mind of Christ? And he was saying that, no, you don't necessarily, you don't lose those things. You don't lose being you just because you take on the mind of Christ. But again, I think we struggle with, again, submitting to God because of whatever reasons that we have. And one of those might be thinking that we're losing ourselves in the process, not knowing that, I mean, you just gain a more peaceful version of yourself, or you just gain a more wise version of yourself, or whatever the case may be, So these are all things to think about. I mean, we know the issues of life. I could sit here and list all day long the different things that we see wrong about society and the world and whatnot. But again, a lot of this stems from, again, the places of honor that we put things in. And there should be a honor hierarchy. And according to the Bible, that's the one that I just read. That's the way it should look. Now, if I go deeper about that, I went and looked at another article. It was called "What Does the Bible Say About Family Problems?" Again, there's plenty that the word has to say about, family and just everything. Honestly, we know that the Bible addresses all kinds of issues. But, again, when it comes to this hierarchy thing and whatnot, basically, one of the quotes that stood out to me as I was reading that was this right here. It says, most family problems emerge when we rebel against God's design. I mean, if you sit here and think about it, I mean, obviously there's plenty of examples like polygamy, adultery, divorce, all against God's design. That was never God's design. I know people take the things that happen in the Bible. Well, this is in the Bible because, such and such had multiple wives. And so it happened. God allowed it. Just because he allowed it to go ahead and play out don't mean that was his will. I feel like there's plenty of things that share that sentiment. At the beginning, he made one man, one woman. When he redid everything with Noah, how many wives did Noah have? Only the one. And how many did his sons have? Only the one. So, I mean, it's like it gotta have a design, but then, we'll tweak it, right? Or we'll try to make it fit our own idea. And then we'll be like, oh, why are things so... Why are things so messed up in life? Oh, well, there's so many issues or whatever the case may be. But yeah, so basically a lot of the problems stem from us rebelling against God's design. So that's one of the things. Another thing that stood out to me is this right here. It's a breakdown of, again, what it should look like. Husbands should love their wives. Wives should respect their husbands and submit to their authority or their leadership, Children should be obeying parents, and that does come with an expiration date. I know we don't want to hear that part, but my understanding is that, yes, obey your parents and whatnot, but then when you become a spouse, that's a whole nother thing. But anywho, we don't like to hear that. But I mean, it's just, again, the issues of life, right? The different things that we face in life and the issues that we have. Again, a lot of it starts with that first family. You know what I mean? That household thing, and we know that. We know that at the end of the day, because that's what people talk about all the time. They're like, "Oh, it starts in the home." You'll hear that phrase all the time. But then, not to say no one is taking responsibility, because people are, there's some good parents out here. You know what I'm saying? There's good, children. I'm not saying that, but what I'm saying overall, right? We just need to acknowledge again the choices and whatnot that we make, and the honor hierarchy and things like that. To help us with some of these issues. And yeah, each and every person has to again work out their own salvation with fear and trembling and things of that nature. But it's just something to think about. That's all. I'm just saying all this as something to think about. Now, another verse that stood out to me to share was Luke 14:26. It says, if let me make sure. Got it. Thank you, Lord. It says, if any man come to me and hate not his father and mother and wife and children and brethren and sisters, yea, his own life also, he cannot be my disciple. Now listen, that might be pulp today, and everything like that. But again, this just goes back to first things first. The first thing should be the Lord's. At the end of the day, if anything else, it doesn't matter if it's our parents, our spouse, our children, whatever the case is. If it's making us fall short of the glory and honor of the Lord, then it needs to be placed down. And again, it all starts there. And so with our honor hierarchy being out of whack, ultimately it's because of that. And ultimately the juice is, like I said, first things first, y'all. Let's start with that. Let's make sure our relationship, is right with the Lord. And then perhaps you'll see, things going well with the rest of the relationships that you have in life. But yeah, man, ultimately that's the juice, y'all. Y'all can go deeper. There's plenty of other verses and whatnot to peruse and let marinate on your heart, souls, and minds. But yeah, y'all, the Bible verse of today is John 5:24. It says, verily, verily, I say unto you, he that heareth my word and believeth on him that sent me hath everlasting life, and shall not come into condemnation, but is passed from death unto life. Friends, I hope you all enjoyed this juice this morning. Thank you so much for listening to God, Sex, and Love, your daily dose of inspiration, the juice. I pray you guys can go forth and have a wonderful day, and I look forward to talking to you all tomorrow. If the Lord's will, y'all know we got a new episode of the GSL Talk Show coming out tomorrow, because tomorrow is Friday. I did not write our guest name down, but I think her name was Amanda. I'll write it down tomorrow and tell y'all who she is. But yeah, be on the lookout for that episode coming out tomorrow at 7. Another amazing lady with an amazing testimony. So yeah, y'all have a wonderful day. I look forward to talking to y'all tomorrow if the Lord's will. Bye-bye. Did you know that you can support us for just 99 cents a month? That's right, friends. You can support everything that we do here at GSL for just 99 cents a month. Take a look around wherever this post is. You might see a link or maybe even a button that says support. Go there, check out the options, consider supporting us because, we enjoy bringing you all the daily inspiration as well as the weekly talk show, but we have much, much more to come. Thank you so much for the consideration. Bye-bye.